Hello, and welcome to the first video that is under the title of All Things Theory. Now, I changed my name just because the Living Force kind of just didn't have the same effect as I thought it would have, or didn't have the effect I thought it would. So, I ended up changing my name, so this is the very first video where I am All Things Theory, and we're gonna now just, instead of going Star Wars related, we're going to spread out from Star Wars from here. So hopefully we can get topics in besides Star Wars, but Star Wars is still going to be the main base of this channel. Today we're going to be talking about what Obi-Wan did while he was on Tatooine, overlooking Anakin and watching over him, because there is still some questions about what happened, and I'm not going to give you a completely in-depth conversation about that. I'm going to give you a rough overline of what happens and how we see him and why we see him essentially in Rebels as an important character. Very briefly though, he's not in Rebels too much, but he is in Rebels, does make a few appearances in Rebels. Obviously his biggest one was in Season 2 when he fights Darth Maul. We're going to talk about why he showed up, but most importantly, we're going to talk about what Obi-Wan did on Tatooine, why he was on Tatooine, and continue to explore that further. So the reason Obi-Wan was on Tatooine was to look over Luke. His job was to make sure that Luke Skywalker would be essentially raised as a normal child. Obi-Wan wanted to train Luke sooner, but Luke's uncle did not want Luke to turn into a Jedi. He had seen what had happened in the past. He saw what happened with Anakin. He saw what happened to Obi-Wan. He didn't want that happening to his nephew. So his Uncle Lars took it upon himself to shelter Luke from Obi-Wan and make sure that Obi-Wan had nothing to do with Luke or do with the Skywalker family, as we see. Now, one of the most important things that we will ever find is there are the Obi-Wan comics where he watches over, which I will recommend to you guys reading the Obi-Wan comics. There's also a Kenobi book written. It is Legends. I believe it's Legends anyway, and it talks about Obi-Wan and what he does on Tatooine. He gets in a fight with Tusken Raiders, and we'll dive into that as we continue to go in here, but I'll recommend those comics to you. But one of the most important things that is ever said in the comics is from Owen Lars to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Obi-Wan Kenobi's trying to help Luke, not necessarily in a physical way as they talking face to face, but Luke really wanted these machine parts to help build his racer, and Owen would not let him have them at that point. Owen wanted him to help him on his farm, and Obi-Wan ended up stealing the parts and giving them to Luke, or buying them and giving them to Luke essentially. And when Owen Lars found that Luke had these pieces, he instantly knew that it was Obi-Wan that gave Luke the pieces, and he actually tracked down Obi-Wan and just got completely mad at him. And one of the things he says is one of the most important things he says, but one of the most idiotic things he ever says is, "Haven't you got enough Skywalkers killed, Kenobi?" And the thing that's interesting about that quote is Obi-Wan never killed Anakin. Anakin just turned to the dark side and became Darth Vader. Anakin never died. Yes, Vader and Anakin are two different people, but Anakin is still inside of Vader. He's still a piece of Vader. And that's what really makes me like, Owen Lars is just a big idiot. But it's an interesting part because we see how the Empire kind of twisted the minds of the people into thinking that, oh yeah, Anakin Skywalker was killed and da 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 da. So yeah. But anyway, we're going to talk about why Obi-Wan's in Rebels. And why Obi-Wan is in Rebels is because I just said he was watching over Luke. And we actually hear this because when Maul talks to Kenobi, he actually says, "You're here to protect something, know someone, and he's obviously protecting Luke. He wants to make sure that the Empire won't come near Luke, wants to watch over him, as we see at the end of episode 3 when Obi-Wan says, "I will take the child and watch over him." So yeah, so Obi-Wan spent a lot of time, but the things Obi-Wan mainly did was live far outside of where Obi-Wan, or where Luke was living, excuse me, where Luke was living, and he just lived on the land essentially. And this caused Obi-Wan to have many mental breakdowns, um, because he was going insane. He had nobody to talk to. He would occasionally communicate with Qui-Gon Jinn through the Force in a way to help himself learn the ways of the Force, and become a part of the Force after living, and be a part of um, the Force as a Force ghost. And it is really cool to see that in the comics and read that in the books. But for the most part, Obi-Wan doesn't do a whole lot besides watch over Anakin, get into his conversations or arguments with Owen Lars, and communicate with Obi-Wan, and go insane. He didn't necessarily go insane, but he just was constantly non-sociable. And that's what happened. It's understandable. I mean, when you live on a desolate planet for 10 plus years, you're gonna go insane as well. I mean, you're gonna no one to talk to. You're gonna end up going insane. And Obi-Wan is just a great character, one of the best Star Wars characters in my opinion. So yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video. And don't forget to like, dislike, comment, subscribe, share with others is the biggest thing. I want to get 10 subscribers by the end of November, so 10. I want to hit that double digits. That was my goal for the end of September. And October, I didn't really post any videos. I posted like 2 videos in the whole month of October. But I want to get up to that 10. I think that's going to be huge for us. So make sure to share with friends, share with everyone you know, and hopefully we will hit that 10 subscriber goal. If we hit the 10 subscriber goal, we're going to do a special video that I will post on my social media. So make sure to check out my social media. Just go to Instagram and type in all things theory, and I should be the first person that pops up. So hopefully you guys do that, help me expand a little bit, and yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed the video again, and I will see you all again in the next video of All Things Theory.